Travis Greene's music has topped the Billboard charts with breakthrough hits like Intentional and Made a Way. His songs are a testimony of his life experiences and God's unfailing love. He joins us today to talk about the release of his third album, Crossover, live from Music City. Travis Greene.
Hey, my friend.
It's good to see you.
How are you?
In your own country.
Oh, man.
Because, of course, the last time we sat this close, well, last time I saw you, you were in the radio studios at Premier Radio.
Yep.
And you were being mobbed by my staff members.
Yeah, we had a great time in London together.
But I have to, before we get into spiritual things, how do you do it? Because all through that, you were just smiling, and they were taking selfies, and you kept smiling, like you're doing now. How do you keep it going? Is it your wife's expertise as a dentist?
No, you know, for me, I think it's just being grateful. Really, the understanding that everything is in seasons, and not to be so overwhelmed by whatever that, you know, I think if you get too highs on the highs, then you'll get too lows on the lows. So I just try to remain constant and remain grateful.
And the interesting thing with you, I mean, I was saying to one of your guys that traveled with you that you look so sensible. I mean, I've seen a few from, you know, the secular to the gospel, and, you know, some aren't so sensible, but you and the people that travel with you just seem so normal.
Wow.
It's like, what do you drink to keep you normal like that?
It's called a mother and a wife who won't expect or accept anything less. They keep us very grounded and really keep us focused about the main thing being the main thing. So.
Let's talk about what informs some of your music. Your father died very young, in his 20s, but he was a preacher. Now, where I come from in Africa, that might be a problem. He was serving God. How can he die so young?
Yeah.
So you have that. Then you have your own journey of the near tragedy that you went through. Then your son, which gives birth to Made a Way.
Yeah.
For you, do you ever stop and look at these things and feel fearful? Think, oh my goodness, this has happened, that's happened, what else is coming around the corner?
No, I'll be honest, every now and then I pause and just sometimes think that this entire thing is too good to be true. So more than focusing on tragedies, I focus on the triumphs. And like, man, my wife asked me a question. She said, how does it feel to be living inside of the dream? You know, this is something, I'm doing what I've always wanted to do. I didn't have any aspirations to do anything else other than travel and do music. And so, if anything, I paused and was like, is someone gonna pinch me and wake me up? You know, this is great.
Now, let me ask you though, because I get that every now and then, not as much as you do, because the magnitude, of course. And people say,
don't downplay how famous you are, man. I've been to London.
But London is a tiny place. You know? People say, how does it feel living in the dream? And sometimes you're like what I remember Bishop Jake saying it. You're walking through the Red Sea that's parted, but you're looking, thinking, hold on, this better not come down anytime soon. You know. So for you, do you genuinely feel all the time like, my goodness, this is a dream?
Majority of the time, I'm honestly in that zone. The other times, I'm just tired.
Okay, I can understand. So for those who don't know, you do this music thing, which means you travel the world. And in the last few months, I mean, it's been a whirlwind. But you also pastor a fast-growing church in the city you live in.
Columbia, South Carolina, Forward City Church.
Forward City Church. And Facebook is a great thing. You know, every Sunday we're in your services.
Oh, man.
And then your husband and a father. But before you got to this wonderful moment, this heady height, you went through a moment where a music exec said to you, actually, you're not good enough. And also, to be honest, if I'm not mistaken, your wife said of some of your records, babe, you know, paraphrasing, babe, they're not so good. What was the turning point?
Well, she never told me that until later on.
Oh, no.
Years later, she's like, yeah, I never liked that song.
Now, but what for you was the tipping point, as it were, where you went from an artist who's trying to fulfill what they believe God has called them to, like many who are watching you, to this Grammy Award-winning artist that, you know, they're calling you Africa, in Asia, in the UK, you know, what was the tipping point for you?
Well, for me, it was a song. Honestly, you know, I've been doing this for 10 years now, believe it or not. Like literally, this is all I've been doing for the past 2 years. But for the first probably 7 years, 6 or 7 years, it was really hard. It was a grind. It was, you know, just trying to make ends meet. And then I wrote a song called Intentional. And man, God literally parted the Red Sea with that song. And I got endorsements from, you know, Bishop Jakes, and the list goes on and on and on. I mean, you just start there, and then the list goes on and on. But who put me on platforms and put me in major conferences. And so that really just launched me into a whole nother stratosphere, if you will. And so it's been kind of a
so you know, I wish we had so much more time, because I know you've done interviews where you've given your 3 top strategies for success. But I want to ask you, for someone watching, a worship leader in Australia or in Ghana, in Nigeria, thinking, I want to be that. I mean, I want to wear ripped jeans and be in front of thousands, blessing them. And the most they know is hand out my CD, give out a business card. What would you say to them? Because, you know, they want to be you. They want to minister like you, be in the heights that you. What's one key would you give to them at this time to turn everything for them? You
know what? I'm going to tell you something that I probably have never even shared. And when asked this question,
yes,
because they're you know, right answers and stuff. I would honestly say one of the big keys is not what you do on stage, but what you do off stage. And specifically, never overlook anyone, because you never know. You know, the most important people don't look the most important. You know, so a lot of times you're trying to promote yourself to artists or, you know, people you see on television. They can't do nothing for you. It's the man in the office. It's the unassuming one at the party. It's the one with the glasses in the corner that actually writes the checks. And so that's really the key to it. Be consistent, because you never know who you're meeting, and never brush anyone off, you know.
So genuinely be nice.
Genuinely be nice, be likable, be friendly. You know, one thing I learned in business school, whenever you leave an interview, and I've applied this stuff just kind of all over my life, but whenever you leave an interview, they say, say something or do something to where they're still talking about you after you leave. And that's what I think, that's the it factor. You want to be remembered whenever you leave a dressing room, whenever you leave whatever, because you never know who you're brushing up against. And so just be nice and make it about God, make it about Jesus, and He'll take you places that you can only dream of.
Travis, thank you so much for joining us on Turning Point.
No problem, man.
Look forward to seeing you back in London.
Love you, my friend.